Live, this is News 12 and NBC 26. News at 6 o'clock. On your side.
More than a dozen accused gang members off the streets of Richmond County, and now the sheriff's office says they're getting flooded with more information and tips on even more gang activity. Good evening. I'm Richard Rogers.
And I'm Laura Warren. The sheriff's office says they expect to make even more arrests very soon. After yesterday's announcement, 17 people were indicted as members of the LOE gang.
Today, Christy Etheridge sat down with the sheriff one-on-one to talk about this investigation.
54 counts in a RICO case to eliminate gang activity is sending ripple effects through the community.
First thing in the morning, I'm getting a call from my intelligence unit saying the phones were blowing up with people calling in information and tips because, we eliminated that threat. 17
people behind bars, including a former deputy jailer and a Navy sailor, indicted as members of the LOE street gang. Stands for loyalty over everything.
We don't mind taking on the tough cases.
For so long, they tried to eliminate them one by one, but when witness after witness started backing down, the sheriff decided to try another strategy. By going with a RICO case, they can bring up everything that almost let them slip away.
It works out great for us because now all those individuals who may have got away with intimidating a witness or bribing a witness or just drug trafficking on this part all the way up to murder, we were able to tie them in as a criminal enterprise.
Many of these people not shy about their gang affiliation, almost taunting authority on social media.
When you got a violent group that's committing these atrocities in your county and then bragging about them via telephone calls, via social media, and other avenues, that lets you know that they feel they're above the law. And now we want to send a message that you're not.
A turn of the tables in who now has the upper hand.
The public will be amazed at, these individuals, how tough they talk via Facebook, social media, and out in the street to intimidate witnesses. There's a different story when they get into the interview room and they're looking at their future. You'd be amazed at how much information they're willing to provide you.
The sheriff says anywhere from 75 to 100 officers worked on this case, which is amazing for two reasons. First, that's a dedicated group to put a case like this together for 2 years. And second, the other 600 deputies at the sheriff's office worked their tails off to make sure the community was still covered.
I like what he said about when they get in that interrogation room, but he also mentioned more arrests. How soon could those come, Christy?
Well, he said that's the exciting part. Based on information they got today, it could move rather quickly. It could be anywhere within a week or maybe within a month. It all really depends on the intel.
And you can make those tips anonymously if you have any.
Yes, you do not have to give your name.
All right, thanks for that, Christy.
Sounds like momentum building there. As for the 3 people in the indictment not yet in custody, Navy sailor T'Angel McFadden is stationed in California. She'll have to go through military court first before she's extradited. We still don't know how long that will be. Ashlyn Daggett and Kelvin Laborde are still wanted.
Developing this evening, the woman accused of mishandling funds for the city of Grovetown under investigation. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office says a search warrant was served at former city clerk Vicky Capitillo's home. Not a lot of details right now, but we are working to find out exactly what they were looking for. And as soon as we know more, we'll be sure to update you on air and online.
Well, after a couple days with record high temperatures, today we didn't get the record, but it was close. Look at the highs today across the CSRA. 77 here in Augusta. The record high will remain 78. Now look at this string of warm air, though. Over the last 9 days, we've had at least 75 degrees every day. That's a new record streak for the month of January, and it could continue tomorrow. As far as the rest of this evening, we've got temperatures falling to the 60s and eventually the 50s overnight. We'll talk about some increased rain chances coming up.
Suspended South Carolina State Representative Chris Corley is no longer in jail in Aiken County after a judge set bond yesterday. Corley was arraigned on domestic violence and gun charges yesterday, but he bonded out this morning. Corley's accused of attacking his wife and pointing a gun at her. He was suspended from the State House, but so far has not resigned his seat.
A new shopping center finally breaking ground in Columbia County after a sign in front of its lot said it would be coming soon for years. Now Mullins Crossing Phase 2, or Mullins Colony as they're going to call it, is seeing some progress. Brooke Zoner live in Columbia County for us, where people are getting ready for all the extra traffic another shopping center will bring.
That's exactly right, Laura. I'm standing outside Columbia County's Planning Commission meeting where we're going to learn a couple of new details about this development. And if you've ever driven over by Mullins Crossing in that corridor of Washington Road, you know you see some slowdowns. The sounds and the sights of progress.
It just cleared it out maybe a year ago.
But for almost 8 years, the lot for Mullins Crossing Phase 2 sat empty with nothing but overgrown weeds and mounds of dirt.
It's been a lot of growth getting here.
Growth in an already congested area. And it's about to get even busier as crews break ground on a 145,000 square foot shopping center, with Belk serving as the anchor.
You know, we want to get Belks up and going and give them their time to shine.
Washington Road is a main corridor here. Mullins Crossing makes the most of that location.
Mullins Crossing is the gateway to Evans.
But with more stores comes more traffic, a problem developer Joe Mullins has already considered.
There'll be multiple entrances, so people will be able to get in and out of the shopping center as well.
Developers are also working with GDOT and the county to add another traffic light at the entrance on Washington Road.
With these projects, speed is the key.
So the developers want to make sure it gets done fast by October of this year. Although more shopping and food is a welcome sight for the county, some drivers hope it doesn't make the traffic go from bad to worse.
The traffic, if we can get around the traffic, we'll be good. I would love it.
And I spoke with the county's planning director earlier today, and they've been working with the developers at this site, and they're doing their best to get everything done as soon as they possibly can.
So are we expecting any new details about it at tonight's meeting?
Well, I was told that the architect for Belk could potentially be here with we could maybe see some new designs of what this building is actually going to look like. I was also told we could find out a couple of stores. We're still waiting on that. We'll let you know as soon as we have those details.
All right, please do. Ready to hear about those stores. Thanks, Brooke. The field is set. 2 candidates hoping to fill the role of the next mayor of North Augusta. As current mayor Lark Jones announces he will not seek re-election. We asked both Bob Pettit and Brett Brannon what their plans will be for the future of North Augusta's downtown.
Establishing a vision for what North Augusta wants to be, in a crude way of saying it. And if you don't know what you want to be, you'll never get there.
If you look at the amount of development activity that's occurred in our downtown over the last 20 years, while the existing code's been in place, I think you could question whether or not that code is stifling redevelopment.
The primary election is coming up on February 7th. You can only vote at Riverview Park.
You'll soon have a second place to sample craft beer made right here in Augusta, and some state lawmakers want to change the law when it comes to letting you buy beer on site at a brewery. Tiziana Onstead is live for us at Savannah River Brewing Company, which will be opening up soon. How's it looking over there?
That's right, Richard. It is going to be opening up soon, but it's not open yet. But they have started brewing. You can see the equipment behind me. So if this bill passes, you'll be able to come into a brewery in Georgia and order a beer from the bar or tap room. But as of right now, in order to drink a beer in a Georgia brewery, you're going to have to pay for a tour.
It's a little unusual, especially with the way the craft brewing industry has been going.
Mark Walters has been brewing beer professionally for 20 years, but when it came down to starting Savannah River Brewing Company,
It's a very difficult decision when you're trying to locate a brewery. And here in Augusta, we were so close to the South Carolina state line.
Georgia and Mississippi are the only 2 states where breweries cannot sell their beer directly to their customers. But State Representative Ron Stevens of Savannah is trying to change that with this bill. It would make it legal to buy a pint at a brewery and make it easier for everyone.
Maybe a customer could come on in, just grab a quick beer or so, and then head on out the door. I think the general public would appreciate that just as much as us who operate a brewery.
Georgia Senator Harold Jones says it's all part of a growing trend.
A lot of persons now are becoming more inclined to drink what you call microbrews or things from distilleries and things of that nature. So this gives the opportunity to continue that.
And could help Georgia thrive.
So it's just an opportunity to continue a different type of economic development, but continue economic development for the state and for the city.
Back at Savannah River Brewing, Walter says a change could bring more craft beer and people to Augusta.
The more breweries that are around, the more people will come into a community to, try the different breweries.
Now, whether this bill passes or not, this brewery will be open by the end of February.
And for people who want to see it for themselves, is it very hard to find? It looks pretty impressive, a big facility there.
It's huge, and it's not hard to find at all, Richard. It's actually at the corner of 5th Street and Gordon Highway.
All right. A lot of people are going to find their way to where you're standing there. Thanks very much for the live update there, Tiziana. If you want to support this legislation, Georgia Beer Day is coming up January 28th, and Riverwatch Brewery will have Georgia Brewers Guild shirts on sale. The proceeds go to support this legislative effort. We've got more details online for you. Just go there and click on the Find It button.
And if you're wondering why Savannah River Brewing Company is setting up shop so close to Riverwatch Brewery, right over there by the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, we've got an explanation for that online too. It breaks down Augusta's zoning guidelines.
We have an update for you on repairing the 5th Street Bridge. Richmond County says they have finished their latest inspection report, and the bridge gets the same score as the last time it was inspected 2 years ago, and it's still not good. So now the city is searching for an engineering consultant to recommend what to do with this bridge, whether they should destroy it, repair it, or repurpose it as a walking or pedestrian bridge. We'll let you know once they make that decision.
Some of our local folks getting ready for our next president's inauguration tomorrow. Former Augusta Mayor Bob Young tweeted this picture of his invitation to the ceremony, but tells us he'll be at home watching it on TV.
Be sure to tune in. We're on your side with special coverage tomorrow on both networks, CBS and NBC.
A DSS worker suspended from work because she didn't show up during a hurricane.
She says she was supposed to help others who needed a shelter, but she was stranded in her own home. We're on your side with what DSS has to say.